Hey everyone, Connor here from the Daubers, and today we're looking at the Critical Role Heroes of Exandria set, and we're looking at the PvE rules and getting you started and fighting your first boss with your team. Let's have a look at it. So the first thing you want to do is pick the boss that you're going to go against. For the sake of this, we're putting down the Manticore as a reference. So each of these bosses is going to have a health per player that you're going to add up depending on how many people are playing. So once you've got the boss in play and you've got the total health assigned, next you want to now have all your players reveal your character. So I've picked Grog. You're going to take your deck and shuffle it, and then what you want to then do is reveal the top 3 cards until you've revealed 3 foundations. This is going to simulate a turn 1 build. From there, you're going to then take your deck and reshuffle it again. Finally, players are going to draw their opening hand and make mulligan decisions as if they were using the official Player 2 mulligan rules for the standard game. So for this, I'm going to say I'm going to put this to the bottom of my deck, draw one more, and then shuffle up. So now we'll get into the general rules. So the combat phase is collective for all players, but each player maintains their own card pool. At the beginning of the combat phase, choose a player to be the first player who was not the first player in the last combat phase. This can be noted in any way the player see fit. Most commonly, maybe just give them a token or something, just to say they know who's who, so I will just do that. During the combat phase, players take turns. On their turn, a player may play one card, play one form ability, or pass. After each player has taken a turn, the enemy character activates, and we'll talk about that when we get to the character activation part. Note, if a player fails a check to play a card on their turn, the enemy character retaliates against them, and we'll go over that in the retaliation part of this section. So the combat phase continues up until the point where no player has any more cards to play, or everyone decides to let the combat phase end. You also have to make sure that all the character actions have been resolved. So when the combat phase ends, the enemy character retaliates against all the players, and then the players clear their card pool and begin a new collective start phase. So in this case, these would build. When the enemy character activates, you roll a d6 and take the corresponding action from the enemy character table. In order to find that, you're going to want to use this, and then pull up the page that contains all these advanced rules. If an activation affects all players, begin with the first player and resolve the effect from left to right. If a player's card or effect asks a rival to make a choice, the player who controls the card or effect makes that choice instead. If a card or effect asks a rival to take an action they're not able to take, the player may choose the outcome most favourable to themselves. Let's now look at attack and blocking. Player attacks deal their damage minus the enemy's character toughness. When the enemy character's toughness prevents at least some of the damage from the attack, that attack is considered to be partially blocked. If the speed of a player's attack is greater than or equal to the enemy's character agility, that attack ignores the toughness. In addition to players blocking for themselves as usual, any player may block for another player during a retaliation. The block is placed into its owner's card pool. If a block for another player is successful, the blocking player loses 1 health, and the defending player takes either no damage for a full block, or half damage rounded up for a partial block as usual. In addition to playing enhanced abilities during their own attack, each player may play one enhanced ability during each other player's attack, following all conditions for that enhance. Enemy character activation. Enemy characters activate after all players have either played a card or passed during the combat phase. When an enemy character activates, roll a d6, then refer to that character's activation table below to determine what happens. Retaliation. The enemy character may retaliate against one or more players during gameplay. The enemy character retaliates against a player or players when a player's attack deals 10 or more damage to them, when a card or effect instructs them to, when a player fails a check to play a card during their turn. To retaliate, roll a d6. The player being retaliated against defends against the matching attack listed on the front of the enemy's card. We're going to have a quick look at the advanced rules now. These are all optional, you don't have to play them, so we're just going to quickly jump through it. The first one is the enemy character's attacks are considered to have the same resource symbol as the enemy character. Next up, if a player, like shown below, plays a stun ability, the enemy character loses health equal to the stun rating. And the last one, to up the difficulty, Desperate Savagery mode. If the enemy character has less than 50 health, their attacks get +1 speed and +1 damage. Following the QR code on the screen, you're going to find all the additional rules for each of the enemy characters. Note that there is some at novice, intermediate, and expert. So, depending on what kind of player skill level you're at, you might want to choose accordingly. So hopefully this video has been a lot of help to you setting up your first boss battle, and I hope to hear what boss you took on first, and as you follow the rest of the playlist, you'll have all the additional rules laid out for each of the 6 enemy characters. And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.